The clock read 3:07 a.m. when the doorbell rang. I jolted awake, heart hammering in my chest. Who could possibly be at our door at this hour? My wife stirred beside me, groaning and pulling the blanket tighter around herself. I swung my legs off the bed and approached the window cautiously. A man's silhouette was barely visible under the dim porch light, his voice calling out, "Babe, you left your purse in my car." My stomach twisted. My mind raced. The word babe echoed like a slap. I froze, staring at the figure on the porch. My wife stirred again, mumbling incoherently. I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe. "Babe, seriously, your purse, come get it," he yelled, impatient, completely unaware that I was watching, that I had heard everything. I felt a mixture of rage and disbelief. For a moment, I wanted to storm outside, confront him, grab my wife by the arm, and demand an explanation right then and there. But instead, I stayed inside, silent, watching, letting the truth settle like poison in my veins. She came to the door, hair disheveled, pajama top half off, her voice groggy but playful. "Oh, thanks, babe," she said, smiling. She leaned toward him in a way that made my stomach churn. He chuckled, leaned closer, and whispered something I couldn't catch from inside. But the way she laughed, the way she looked at him, the way she touched his arm, it was unmistakable. I stepped back, heart pounding. My life, the life I thought I knew, unraveled in an instant. The years of trust, the shared home, the promises, it all felt like a lie. I went back to the bedroom, careful not to make noise. I needed time to think. Anger coursed through me, sharp and burning, but I didn't act on it yet. Not at 3 a.m., not like this. Instead, I began planning. The next day, I pretended to carry on as usual. Breakfast, kids to school, small talk. She acted normal, expecting me to be unaware, to stay oblivious. She had no idea the entire night had changed everything. I started collecting evidence quietly. Phone records, messages, times, locations, the man's contact info, the night she claimed she was out with friends, her excuses that never added up. Piece by piece, the picture became clearer. Every time she smiled at me or made a casual remark about her late-night outing, I held the memory of 3 a.m. in my mind. That one moment became my anchor, my catalyst. Weeks passed. I didn't confront her immediately. I let her think she was safe, that her secret was hidden. I watched her carefully. Every lie, every half-truth, every casual flirtation she thought I would ignore. Finally, I acted. Calmly, methodically. I changed the locks one by one. Every spare key she had, gone. No access to the house, no chance to manipulate, no safety net. Next, I compiled all the evidence, messages, timestamps, photographs, records, and contacted a lawyer. Divorce proceedings began, custody arrangements for the children were outlined, and financial protections were put in place. Every move was precise, legal, and undeniable. When I confronted her finally, it wasn't with yelling or pleading. I didn't scream or cry. I simply presented the facts, methodical and calm. The 3 a.m. doorbell, her laughter, her words, her touch, the messages she thought I'd never see. Her face went pale. Panic replaced the casual arrogance she had shown that night. For the first time in years, she realized that her games had consequences. The illusion of control she had maintained shattered instantly. I made it clear, the marriage as it had existed was over. She could keep her lies, her deceit, and her fun, but it would be separate from me and the children. The house, the family, the life I had built was mine to protect. Weeks later, she tried to manipulate the narrative with friends and family, spinning stories, claiming exaggeration. I didn't respond publicly. The law, the evidence, and her own admission were enough to prove the truth. Eventually, she moved out, forced to confront a reality she had ignored for far too long. She had flirted with betrayal, laughed at secrecy, and treated our life like a playground. But the moment she called out babe to another man at 3 a.m., the die was cast. Revenge wasn't about yelling, public shaming, or drama. It was about precision, control, using the truth, timing, and law to reclaim what she had tried to steal with lies and infidelity. The house became quiet again. The children safe, my life, free of manipulation and betrayal. She had learned in the coldest way possible that cheating has consequences, and some consequences are irreversible. The doorbell that woke me at 3 a.m. wasn't just a sound. It was the beginning of the end, a wake-up call, and the catalyst for revenge that was slow, deliberate, and final. And in that silence, I finally found peace.